morning. We call the meeting to order for the Board of Water and Wastewater Commissioners at the Harwich Water Department at 196 Chatham Road, Harwich, Mass. for Thursday, September 21st, 2023. Open session is going to commence at 11:36, and then we will go into executive session at 11:45. We have no public comments, no announcements. The consent agenda for August 25th will be at the next agenda. No abatements. Old business, capital plan, Dan.
All right. So as kind of indicated further down on the agenda, we have been notified that our FY25 budget season is starting, and we've been having some discussions on the capital plan, but wanted to bring it back just so we could revisit again to establish kind of what we're thinking for the FY25 budget cycle. So I included in the packet the three versions of the capital plan. The old one that was voted, I want to say 2018 or 2019. The next one in the packet was what we had done last year, the amendments we included for the distribution system upgrades and increasing cost for the Route 28 water main project. And then the third one is a revised version, removing some of the items that we had discussed that we were considering not moving forward with. Last time we discussed this, we were discussing the backhoe replacement, the size of the loader. We were considering, we did have a demo for the larger size, and I just heard back the vendor was also getting the smaller unit, the larger, smaller, compact loader in. They were expecting to get some in September. I have had Jay reach out to try and coordinate getting a demo in for that. So hopefully we'll have the ability to at least demo both of them in the near future. Beyond that, the big change is just really an increase to the specificity for FY25. On the old plan, we had just a blanket for 2 vehicles. In the proposed plan, we have them itemized, what trucks would be trading in and what would be seeking for their replacements. And those are the big changes.
So how many trucks are we actually trading in here? Because you have three line items.
Okay.
3 line items, right?
3, yeah. So this, and last year, thanks for bringing that up. Last year we had only 2 on there. The addition of a third was for Steve, the assistant superintendent's Explorer. So the first 2 were what was intended under the original or current capital plan with a dollar figure of $125. So for those who'll be looking to trade in the 2011 F250 for an F150, that's currently a vehicle that's used on the treatment side. It's the one that Dana drives. And the truck 11 would be looking to trade in the current 150 that we have and look to augment our fleet with either an F350 or 450, which would be the backup vehicle for the main service truck we use for doing all the excavation work. So right now, if we lose that truck, we're kind of dead in the water while it's, I don't want to say dead in the water, but severely inconvenienced, as that truck's outfit with the onboard generator, air compressor, and all those things.
What is it, 2010?
The F-150 that would be trading in is a 2010. That right now is the blue one that Dave drives. Dave, we have a truck ordered that we ordered 2 town meetings ago at the same time as the one we ordered for myself, and we're still waiting for that to be built and delivered. So once that vehicle comes in, the 150 Dave drives would be going ultimately in trade. Now I guess the only thought on that is, and this would be a decision that we could make next year, just given the lag between when we order a truck and when we actually receive it. When if and when we do bring on the assistant wastewater superintendent, we have the Ranger proposed to be moved into the sewer position, and the 150 is going to serve as the backup vehicle. If you notice, sometimes you'll pull in, we have the Ranger parked out by Building B. That's used by distribution staff when they're not on the digging crew or have other things to do. So it's kind of our backup vehicle. So that 150 would, and let's not forget also summer help, seasonal help, also use those vehicles. So we're retiring one and shifting and trading the other.
In the Explorer is the 2013 that we just got?
Last year, yeah.
And what's wrong with that one?
So that is, ultimately, Kyle at Highway is recommending that we replace vehicles once they age out to 10 years. So Steve is still driving the vehicle, it is still working, but it was a retired cruiser, and the recommendation from DPW is to replace these when they age out to 10 years.
So we're gonna trade that vehicle in?
Yes.
And what's the, if and ever we get an assistant wastewater superintendent, what are they gonna drive? The Ranger?
Yeah.
What is the Ranger?
The Ranger is also old, I don't know the year off the top of my head.
Is it, Ranger? Sewer.
That's on deck for next year.
And a Noreen?
You may have already said this, but that truck 7,
Yeah.
so if that's for sewer, then I'm just wondering why it's in our water capital plan.
Well, fair point,
Yeah.
and we should probably make a separate chart for sewer.
Right, yeah. Maybe we'll be putting grinder pumps in there eventually,
Yeah.
or some other things like that.
Yeah.
Well, if we're moving that truck to sewer, are we replacing that truck with something?
Yes, so, and I gotta confer with Steve when he gets back, because he's got it much more better mapped out in his head. The 150, I believe the plan for 11, and I may have misspoken, would be to not trade in the 150 for the F-350 on line 4, but that truck then slides in to replace the Ranger, which would then move over to sewer.
So do we bill, will we bill the sewer part of it for that vehicle? We're not just gonna give it to them. Do we normally just give vehicles to other departments?
Yeah, I would say like when, do you recall when they gave us the cruiser, if we paid anything for it?
No, we didn't. No. Yeah, it's when they're old and they're aged out, sort of, that they're given away through departments, but nothing that, I haven't witnessed anything that's on the newer end of things. It's usually when,
Yeah, end of life.
yeah,
And that's ultimately what we're, realistically, we should probably consider when to replace the assistance vehicle. I guess we have it here on the water scale. We should probably create a separate
To start the
wastewater
process.
capital plan.
It just seems like more vehicles this year than ever before. Typically, we do like one vehicle a year,
Or 2. We did 2 the last
and
time.
we're still waiting for that one from 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And with the strike going on, there's probably,
I know. I mean, this is, it's all unfortunately part of the equation.
did you have a question?
I do on a different thing, though. I wanted to wait till you were done with vehicles.
Yeah, it's just
Okay.
a lot of vehicles.
Yeah, okay. You might have been gonna get to this, I'm not sure, but last meeting we talked about new water services for Phase 3 customers.
Yes.
So we would have to add that to this plan?
No. I would propose that, and I'm still working through everything, the details with Steve, but at this point, so there's really 2 ways it could work. And it all depends on the bid prices for the sewer project. What my recommendation would be, and this is kind of going to span 2 topics, but the two options I see as being reasonable right now, if we could either take on the service replacements ourselves. There's about 250 of them. I would look to start that prior to the sewer contractor doing their work, so that we could stay ahead of them. That way they can't point to us for any trench settling, poor pavement, anything like that. So the goal would be to get out ahead of the sewer contractor and just work through the Phase 3 area. There's about 250 services. That I would propose we fund within our operating budget in our water service materials line item.
Why are there only 250 if 600 homes are?
Because a lot of them, we're only looking at the old steel services.
Okay, that's what I thought, I just wanted to, yep.
1/3 or so of the total project area has the old steel lines.
Right.
So that I would recommend proposing within our operating budget. We would look to increase the water service materials line item. I'd have to put a dollar figure to it. Or the other alternative would be if the bid prices come in for both contracts lower, and I'll be getting an updated cost estimate in the coming weeks, so we'll have a better handle on what the construction cost is. If it looks like we're going to be enough below the $50 million threshold, we could add the water services as an add alternate to the bid price, to the bid. And if it comes in within the funding, it would be done by the sewer contractor during the sewer project.
If it was option 2, well, I guess we wouldn't need to have it on the plan because we already have the funds.
Right. So it really boils down to
Right.
if the
Okay.
money's there.
Yeah.
So I think either way we can get it done, it needs to get done. There's just 2 avenues depending on construction costs that we would pursue.
So we don't really have to take any action on the capital plan on that. What was the line in the operating budget you said it would go under?
Is it service installation materials?
It could be either that one, yes, or pipes, valves, and fittings.
Would that cause like 100% jump or?
It may.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it's the nature of the industry,
Yeah.
you know, have everything even.
Yeah.
It's better.
I know.
It's better they get done when the main gets in.
Right, yeah.
You know, I feel like there's a common thought that, you know, oh, you shouldn't increase or, you know, too dramatically, you know, but I feel like in these instances, they're defensible increases for projects that come up.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it would be more irresponsible to level fund it
Right.
and, you know.
I think it's just that people don't understand that, well, the layperson, they understand a great deal, but not the differences in the nature of the operations of certain departments, you know,
Yeah.
that's definitely a factor in our
Yeah.
situation. There's nothing else you can even out, you know. That's what I think, anyway.
Dan, the Route 28 water main replacement, where are we with that? We're waiting on, I mean, it's still,
As far as DOT.
DOT?
Yeah, I mean, DOT's been, they pushed out the anticipated start date, so prior to them doing that, they needed all of, so it's unique in how we fit in as a non-participatory project with Mass DOT, right? So on like our construction projects, we have our big spec book, our whole set of plans, it's really kind of in the town's span of control. With the DEP or DOT non-participatory project, we have to kind of mesh in with all of their existing processes and procedures. So prior to them pushing the deadline out, they had requested of us updates on all the specifications, materials, and a whole bunch of items that they were looking to get incorporated into their plans. So we shifted gears to stay ahead of their deadlines. They have since pushed out the bid date for the project, but we're trying to get everything wrapped up so that we're not on their schedule. You know, they have everything they need. Once we satisfy DOT's needs for that phase of the project, we'd be looking to shift back to the Heron River to Lower County Road portion of the project.
Do we have a time frame for this? How much further are they gonna push it back?
I think they only pushed it like 6 months, the start date. And I think one of the things that we're gonna run into that will somewhat dictate the schedule is once we get to bid-ready drawings, where are we in the calendar year? And does it make sense to bid now or wait till summer season? What is DOT gonna let us get away with? as far
Where are
as-
we with the plans?
So the sewer and the water on the West Harwich portion are, I want to say, near complete. The collection system, or water system east of the bridge is a little bit further behind. I would have to look at the drawing to see what percentage they were at. I want to say the drawings I was looking at recently were 75%. We're still trying to track down someone to clearly mark out the Nantucket electric line that runs down Lothrop 28 and then Gray Neck, I think it goes down, because there's been no actual as-built information for that. Another thing that we recently had them modify on the project is, if you know the intersection of 28 and Lower County where that little park is, the what's the first street past the Sativa shop there? I can't remember the name of it, but the cross street on 28, once you start to get into Harwich Port, there's a couple broken gate valves that don't operate, so we had them push the scope back another couple 100 feet so that we could address those. So I just got a change order for $2,400 for the surveyors to come back out to resurvey that additional area, and they're in process with
So if
that.
you're on 28 and Sativa's to your right, that street on the left?
Yes.
Forest.
So is that Wheeler Square?
Useless. Useless.
Is that Wheeler Square?
The park that's there,
Yeah.
you would know better than me.
Dome
Dome Park, yeah.
Oh, don't put, is that, yeah.
Park?
I think so. That's the
There's-
one where they have art in the park and everything? Yeah.
There's actually a gate valve in the sidewalk right in front of Sativa.
Excuse me.
That leaks, that, we can't get a good shutdown on.
Yeah.
And in order to shut that off, we have to go back further, so, but. those
We've
would
been
be-
talking about doing that for years.
Yeah.
The 10 million and 25 for
Yes.
distribution with the pending infrastructure, I thought we didn't get any money from that.
We did,
So we take, is that coming out?
and that is, removed from this.
Oh, that's the highlights that it's removed. Oh, okay, that's what that means?
No, actually, the highlighted stuff, sorry, to compare the three, the highlighted things were the items that we added, or modified last time we amended the plan.
Okay.
And then the one proposed is...
So this is it right here?
Yes.
Okay.
So we'll have to vote at some point, right?
Yeah,
You may want to wait until we have a full...
Yeah.
yeah. Because we're still gonna do something with that 48,000 off of FY '26. If we're gonna vote it, let's just do it once and get it right, because that's not gonna stay there, right? Because that's going to sewer?
Sewer,
So it's not
correct.
gonna stay there?
Right.
And we'll have to vote the 10 million, Don.
Yeah.
People listen to them all once the dust settles.
Well, I think once we get, I guess my thought was once we get a version of this that encompasses everything,
Yeah.
it could just be adopted as one
Right.
updated.
All the better.
Because we still need an amount for the backhoe purchase.
Right, and the 210 is the upper, limit for the larger of the loaders that we looked at.
And at that time, we could, even if it only had one item on it, we could vote a wastewater one just to start the process.
Yeah.
So, one more about truck 11. It says 210, Ford F-150, F-350, or 450.
Yes, so
So
the truck
what
we...
is it actually we trading in?
The truck and this is where I don't want to confuse things, so
Right.
we would be replacing the F-150 with either a 350 or a 450.
All right, so that's, okay.
But not trading that in.
We're just replacing it.
Yeah, the 150 would slide into the auxiliary vehicle slot that's
For-
used by seasonal distribution staff when they're not driving the big trucks.
But that F-150 has all of the, is the super truck, right?
No, the F-150 is the blue truck that Dave drives.
Oh, okay, okay.
So Dave's truck is on order.
All
So
right.
when Dave's gets a new truck,
All right.
yeah,
Because Josh is driving the super truck.
yes,
And we're gonna get another one of those.
a backup to that, yes.
And what years is Josh? Well, you don't know. Josh's truck.
I want to say,
We're talking vehicles. I want Steve here.
yeah,
But we could bring our list too of our fleet
I want
list.
Steve.
yeah.
I want to have a conversation with Steve.
I have a
Steve's the better man to talk to about that.
question though about the totals. Are the totals listed here less the trade-in?
No,
Okay, just curious
These
if that
were-
includes the value of the trade-in estimates, or do we do that anymore? Or do
I
we
don't-
list the full amount?
yeah, list the full amount. And these, I believe, are the prices that Steve got from Kyle
Okay.
for the replacements. And again, these questions are much better answered by Steve. I try to do my best to remember and regurgitate.
That's why we have him. He's a vehicle guy. So look how many miles are on that Explorer. 23. All right. Anything else about the water capital plan?
Nope. Yeah, gotta remember to differentiate water capital.
Yeah.
This
All right, well source update.
All right, so I think at the last time we met, we still had,
Well, I know it's 11:45, but we can't go into executive session until 11:45. I think we just finish this and then
Okay.
we'll do an executive session.
Okay.
good? So I think last time we met, well 9 was, no, right?
No, just no, she
Oh.
encroaches on my space.
Still down.
I got John's too.
I know, it's like, I'm gonna be doing it as much as I can. I'm gonna do Judith pretty soon.
You know, at the meeting last week, or whenever,
We had fun, didn't we?
Judith was sitting beside me, we had no
No,
problem.
she did. She
she
did.
did?
She said, do you want to switch places with me? Because she thought she was gonna do that.
Well, she's-
Remember? You guys were there. Remember she said it?
She's talking out of both sides of her.
No, she's gonna get speared with the pen. She knew exactly what I was talking about.
Ever since I've been on this board, I've sat right here.
I know. I tried moving my right over there, but she got
No,
me
I
back.
didn't like it over there.
You should have moved me here with the pen.
I used to be close to you.
That's fine. She gives me a check.
That's right.
Well source.
Okay.
So, well 9 is back online.
Alright.
We were able to swap the transformer out and bring that back up. Well 1 is still down. The motor was expected to be delivered on Tuesday. I haven't got confirmation if they received it or not. But they are planning to come down once they have all the parts in. So I'm hoping by the end of, hopefully next week, we'll be back online with well 1.
Awesome. All right. That takes care of old business. Now, before we go into new business, I will entertain a motion to go into executive session. To go into executive session pursuant to General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A3, to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining or litigation if an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on a bargaining or litigation position of the public body and the chair so declares. And I'll take a roll call. Mr. Thompson?
All right?
Noreen?
I'll make a motion. Oh, did you make that motion?
No, I need a motion.
I'll make a motion for what the chair just read.
All right, so that's the motion. Mr. Thompson, is that
All right.
second? And now I'll take a roll call vote. Mr. Thompson? Aye. Ms. Donahue?
Aye.
And it's time for myself. All right, so we're retired to Dan's office. Executive session, and we just had some dialogue, no decisions, no votes were taken.
Executive session minutes.
Oh, sorry, except executive session minutes for
June 22nd.
June 22nd. All right, Dan.
All right, new business, Phase 3.
Yep, you go ahead.
Phase 3 Archaeological Investigation HWD support. So there is a portion of land immediately adjacent to one of the proposed pump station sites for the Phase 3 sewer project that has been under archaeological investigation due to the discovery of some historic artifacts in the area. So we've been working with the Public Archaeological Laboratory and the state agencies responsible for permitting work in these areas. And what we are hoping to do in advance of the construction is to do a supplemental round of further investigation. And the reason being, we want to get this work done prior to awarding the construction contract, because if we wait and it's the general contractor that digs it up and finds something, we may potentially have, a big change order and, lots of heavy lifting at that point. So the goal of doing it now, advance of the contract, is so that if we find anything, we could get the area cleared and ready for construction prior to accepting bids. The ask of the Water Wastewater Commission would be to see if you would have any issue with using an operator and an excavator from the water department to support the Public Archaeological Laboratory staff to strip out the topsoil for about 400 square feet in the sensitive area.
Who's that, Josh?
Josh or Jay?
I think that's a good idea. It's, I think it'd be more caring, and paying attention, to go out there and do it that way, rather than just go dig with an excavator,
Yeah.
And really have a chance to investigate. It's a good spot to be thinking that way,
And would only be taken down about 6 inches
Yeah.
from, so it's not even a big excavation. It's about 400 square feet, 6 inches deep.
Yeah, quickly,
Yeah.
okay. I move we approve, the investigation.
Hey, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second. Noreen, any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Just can't read it sometimes. Just, it's a wild card. I'm not gonna play
Yes,
poker.
sir.
I'm never gonna play poker with her, I'll tell you right now. I just can't figure it out.
Distract you, that's my message.
FY25 budget. Cindy, I guess that's why you're here.
I'm here for this, just to start
Support?
with it. Yeah, support.
All right.
I think it's great whenever staff can join us at all times.
Always welcome.
Feels good to be back in.
Right, so I had included in the packet material that was included in the Select Board's packet from the town administrator this past week, just detailing the proposed budget timeline for fiscal year '25. In addition to that, we have a department head meeting scheduled for Wednesday, September 27th, which is next week.
Is this a new format?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I get it.
So the Gantt chart?
I don't get it. Which are the flags?
Flags are one-day items.
Sorry?
One-day items.
Okay.
So if you,
Well, I think they're like deadlines too, on the end of it.
so if you
Oh,
look
it's a
at,
milestone marker.
yeah, so if you look at it from the top,
Yep.
right, the fiscal year, 5-year financial outlook, the start date was August 11th,
Yep.
and the end date is 41 days from the start date. And that's
Okay.
what those blue bars represent. So those blue bars, the 41st day would be September 19th for the 5-year financial outlook. So I haven't seen these used in financial
Right.
development. They're more commonly used for like construction schedules and things like
Yeah.
that. But that's essentially how it's read. And these actually go out behind each other.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So if you look at the top, you'll see September, October, November, December, January.
September, October, November, December, oh, man.
So these are the starts, stopping, and timelines for the various processes that we'll be going through for the budget cycle.
Place to be.
On the desk.
Dan, I was at Monday's meeting when it was mentioned, the select board meeting, the 5-year plan, which I see is listed here as the first block, the 5-year financial outlook, and there was nothing in the packet, and there was no mention of the plan. It says here that you got it yesterday, is that true?
Have not received it yet.
Okay.
Where are you?
Well, see on this first thing, these
Oh.
2 little flags?
October, September, okay, yeah, okay.
Well,
Yeah, I see the flags.
oh, wait a minute.
Distribute to department heads, I see where you're.
Yeah.
19,
Well,
September 19.
yeah, and there was nothing then, so I was just kind of hoping that Dan had it and could give it to me.
So
but-
September 19th, and you don't have it?
No, and it wasn't presented to the board or public on the 18th, so whatever, I'm just was wondering if he had it.
Well, that's off to a good start.
I don't see any information, unless I can't read this thing, but there's no information on this thing as far as,
It's not a good
like,
representation.
oh, so operating budget development, right?
Yeah.
Draft budget message, TA, FD, 0%? I mean, what is that?
0% completed,
What's FD mean? I wonder?
finance director.
Oh,
TA is
So-
town administrator?
yeah.
Yeah,
So they present it?
so
Or
they
put it together?
develop the budget message. So
Okay.
we, as department, our departments typically receive a notification from the town administrator and finance director with directives for, cost of living adjustments, increases to health insurance, utilities.
Yep.
They give us an initial budget message that we
Right.
use to then construct our budget.
But even these abbreviations, DH, TA.
Now, who's DH?
there's Department heads, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But there's no, there's no, thank you. See,
I know,
Sandy gets me.
legend, she's right.
Right, there's,
I haven't seen a legend on anything in about 10 years anyway, so I kind of gave up.
But you guys have seen
And I
this-
don't just mean the town.
you've seen this before.
Yeah.
No,
No,
this
this
is,
is,
This is for us too.
this was in Monday's packet, it's a new form.
I was just trying to follow when the budgets are gonna be due.
SB,
Select
Develop
board.
operating budgets.
F's, Financial Committee.
yeah,
There's more detail on warrant distribution, which to me is, kind of a mundane portion of the assignment, but,
Looks like operating budget development is potentially gonna be due December 1st, if I'm following it right.
Where are you?
Under the operating budget development.
Yep.
The second one down, if you look down the smaller list beneath it, review operating budget, develop operating budget.
Yep.
I'm sorry. Says 53 days from 10/11. It looks like it goes to December 1st.
are those number of days, oh
Yeah.
my goodness, I can't,
yes, December
that
1st.
kind
Yeah,
of thing.
so
Yeah.
that sounds like, so that's probably our timeline to work on and have the budget ready
Which-
to be submitted on December 1st, which
It's
is around
typically
the
around
last-
our Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah,
Isn't it?
yep,
Yeah.
It's best when it's not like.
It's in a-
Literally, like
listed
last
on
year,
that.
we had a false start, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, hurry up and put it on the shelf
Yeah,
But if you
for
look,
January.
so if you look at, what you just talked about, right? Distribute, no wait, develop operating budget, how you said it, looks like
Yeah.
it's due on December 1st.
yep,
The next column down, review operating budget, it picks up on December 1st.
Yep.
And goes out,
and that's town administrator.
57
So
days.
it looks like the town administrator then reviews all the budgets.
for 57 days, which,
From 11:30.
that'd be January.
Just not our happiest one.
And there it is. Weird, this is weird.
Well, let's see.
Yeah, I've never seen it as finance either, just more as a project
Yeah,
tool, project
exactly.
management tool.
This is very difficult to find out.
Okay.
Is that the plan?
Yeah.
To make it hard to find stuff? I mean,
Well, yeah, because you're looking further into many months, so.
It's great for construction, but, so we good with the chart for this, for the
What?
moment? We good with the chart for
Yeah.
the moment?
this
Um,
doesn't help me at all.
So,
Oh, that's yours too. That's yours.
Why
should
you
get
keep
some-
giving me
Did you have your
things?
stuff over here?
I expect we'll get some additional clarity on the budget process on Wednesday. But I just wanted to throw out, and I'm sure this is not going to be the last thing, 2 items that pop into my mind about the FY24 budget. But as we did discuss briefly earlier in the meeting, we may want to consider increasing the water service materials line item in support of the Phase 3 sewer project. And then we are also going to be looking, or in need of purchasing new leak detection equipment. The correlators that we purchased, or the loggers we got before I started with Orleans,
Geez, probably 15 years ago.
we're down to the last couple of loggers.
Oh, need those.
We used to be able to send them out to be replaced. We've replaced the batteries, but the batteries are about $800 to have replaced, and the units themselves are around $1,000 a piece. And I believe they're no longer servicing the model that we have. So that will be an ask of mine for FY25 if we can't wiggle things around. and
So you want to
move forward.
increase the line item for what? For,
Leak detection equipment,
yeah, what was before that?
water service materials,
Such as
curb stops, corp stops, service tubing
for the Route 28 project?
for the Phase 3 wastewater project.
For the new water services.
You need to yell at me.
It's,
Huh?
that's a noise detection, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Super.
No,
Okay.
I didn't know if it was time we talk about replacing our sign from Harwich Water Department to Harwich Wastewater Department.
No.
I knew that was gonna be a,
No.
yeah, maybe we'll just forget I said
In the
that for
future.
you. All right,
When everything's sorted out.
all right, yeah, out of courtesy of Alan's possible last term,
What?
I will, well, he keeps saying he's not gonna run
Well, I
again.
said, I'll be 85. You probably get
All right. I will withdraw that suggestion and hold it for a few years, how's that? At least,
You know, don't get too comfortable.
all right.
Until we figure out who's running what, who's doing
Okay,
what. Yeah.
okay,
That's right.
never mind.
There's a lot of hills and dales I have.
Yeah,
That's a big step for Alan right there.
yeah,
Lauren, that's a big step for Alan right there, so.
yeah,
If you want to
yeah, I know.
refresh the sign,
I'll put a potted plant below it, how's that?
that's a go.
All right,
Okay.
Yeah,
Budget?
a copy machine. I think we're due to update our machine, and
Yeah,
probably should put that
probably.
into the budget. It's, you know,
It's been,
yeah.
I've done a lot of hard work for our department. It's been paid off for how many years we came
5,
on board? Yeah.
6.
Silly question, but, I mean, shouldn't you have a small printer in your office? I mean, I don't,
He doesn't.
he doesn't want one?
It's easier to just,
All right, but are there any other employees who would need a
We
small?
are pretty well taken care of each
Okay.
year as we need things. We do
All
have
right.
our budget and.
Fine.
It's not Christmas.
You
want anything else?
Thank you, Noreen.
What else would you like?
The things we need to do
Yeah,
our.
Think of
our
it, sure.
It
jobs.
costs about $100, you know, I mean, I'm fine.
these big ones are like thousands.
Yeah, that's
right?
different, that's
Thousands,
different.
20,
Yeah.
are they north of 20?
Probably.
You know,
Which
but
is
I used to
crazy.
lease them when I worked for another town. Do you do the 3-year lease?
Well, Dan brought something good to the department when he came on board. He suggested, why don't we pay out off the lease? Because I think we had a
Right.
year left of
Yeah.
payments. And so we paid off the lease, and knock on wood, we have a maintenance agreement. They come and they tell us, this is a great machine, it's running good, you know? We don't do a lot of printing as much anymore.
Right.
Because we're electronic,
So-
but so I could see that where I think we should potentially look at the buyout and put a maintenance agreement on it, or whichever, or, you
Yeah.
know,
So of those options, though, so lease is not one?
No, I think it is,
Yeah.
and I think what we would have found, the cycle we would have found ourselves into is, what is it, a 3 or 5, whatever the
Yeah.
term of the lease is, and then it's up, and I think more often than not, people lease a new one.
yeah.
And
Right.
it's, you're paying just to continue
I
every 3
see
years,
what
you're
you're
buying a new
saying,
one, and it's
yeah,
just a
yeah.
recurring charge. When they were looking for us to
Yeah.
do a new lease for a new machine,
Yeah.
I mean, the copier was still
Right.
fine,
I
so why
got
are we gonna get a new one? But
Okay,
now,
I'll leave it in your hands.
she's starting to show signs of age.
Yeah.
How old is it?
Over 10 years.
God's done well, hasn't it?
So, to clarify, we don't lease that, we own that.
Now we own it, yes.
We
It
were
was-
leasing it,
Yes.
We
we
leased
bought
it
it,
at the beginning.
and we have a maintenance plan.
Yes.
Great.
That work? You can, how long does it take?
Well,
to
it'd be
get-
nice if you got a TV monitor, so I could read what you.
What's the number?
putting
I was
up.
looking at them yesterday. I
That's
know.
I can't read
Couple
that, I
months.
just,
Yeah.
so.
Different question. Maybe it's in there and I've already forgotten in the capital plan, but were we gonna start to talk, or maybe during the year, about fixing that oil area, or,
So for our headquarter facility,
right,
yes, there is currently a placeholder in FY '28.
oh, headquarters, okay, gotcha.
Sorry, with the
Yep, no.
no legend again.
I saw it,
Yeah.
Dan, sorry.
All right.
I saw it. I knew too.
Okay, so we can talk, and no, we don't need to go into that now, I just wanted to make sure something's out there.
Yeah. So like I said, I'm sure there's gonna be other budget items that pop up, projects, but those are, at least at this stage, having only started our FY '24 budget 2 months ago, those are the ones that are popping in.
When you looked at those potential new recharge areas, did they were town property, right?
Some.
One was,
Yeah.
anyway. Did they border right on Queen Anne Road, or, I'm basically asking if the sale of the recent property, the old pet cemetery, interfered at all with that area?
No. I was asked about that.
Okay,
All department heads got a,
yeah,
is there any municipal use?
I remember that, but I didn't know if it abutted it and then might...
No, it's on the-
Yeah,
It's on, no, the town-owned ones are behind Headwaters, between Headwaters and Route 6. And the privately owned one is out behind Derby Street
Right.
in
right.
North Harwich.
But the
North
town,
Harwich,
the town
yes.
portion is on Route 6, is on, Queen Anne. Does it have
No,
access?
it's on the other side. We would be looking for access from Route 6.
Okay, that's...
Yeah, we'd be looking to put a gate with a turn off.
What about the power lines down by the dump? Is that private?
That is the area that is now being proposed as Pine Oaks
Right.
4.
Yeah.
That's all been,
Pine Oaks 4?
Yeah.
For what?
there's a new,
Housing,
They found who owns that?
yes.
Oh.
There was a point where we had reached out to one of the owners.
Right.
And we were making inroads to do some testing in
Right.
there. When the time came to actually go and do the testing, they said, no, we're good. Because I think behind the scenes, they've been going through the process of securing that land, identifying the owners.
Who's they? The town?
the
No,
Pine
the
Oaks people.
Pine Oaks
Oh.
people.
I just saw an article somewhere, how many, 200 units?
300,
Oh.
300 units.
not all at one fell
Yeah, there's
swoop.
4 phases.
Yeah,
I had a meeting a week or 2 ago with the developers. It's, I don't know if I guess it's public knowledge now who the developers are, right? They've been to,
Yeah, it's,
they gave 2 public presentations.
I know it's Winstead, Greg Winston, I think.
Really?
Is Sandy Hall affiliated somehow, I thought?
She was,
Or maybe
my
a landowner,
understanding
but-
is she owned one of the 7 deeds that was put together,
Yeah,
but I
not-
don't, personally, I don't know of any involvement beyond that.
Yeah, I don't know all the names, but I
Yeah,
know,
that's fine,
you know,
yeah.
they've packaged all those parcels together, and they're looking to develop Pine Oaks for it, I believe.
Mhm.
Oh,
Is that Mid-Cape Church organization?
I had a separate standalone meeting with them. They are gonna be having to build a wastewater treatment plant on premise. I did throw out, hopefully someday, if they can tie in, that they would consider reserving their area that is a plant for maybe some recharge, but, that would be,
the whole thing is like the groundwater over there by the dump.
Yeah.
It's pretty close.
yeah. They're gonna have to do, get a NIPD's permit through the state with a best available nitrogen reducing
Oh, well, there you go.
So,
All right, who knew?
yeah, it's gonna be a big development. And it cuts all the way out to Main Street on the other side, so it's gonna go from Queen Anne all the way through.
I was wondering about that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. change
Where would
that
it come
street.
on Main Street?
They have a sliver, I could show you on a map after, but,
It's, there's a lot, there's a lot on Main Street that's all pine trees. As you drive down there, you look to the left, looking back towards Queen Anne type of thing. You just go through there. I wondered about why that wasn't developed. Now I know,
yeah.
yeah.
All right, Dan, what else you got? New source, oh, you also with budget?
Yeah,
New source exploration project.
so I had a kickoff with GZA last week. They are looking to schedule a site visit for the second week of October with the driller, as well as HWD staff, so if there's any clearing that needs to be done. They're looking to come in to drill the 8-inch test well this fall and hoping to have that fully drilled by Thanksgiving. So that's great news. From there, we're gonna have to do permitting and pump test and so on. We're gonna have to find a location to discharge the water from the pump test. It's gonna be millions of gallons. While we do run that pump test, we'll have to shut Station 10 down for the duration, which is fine. We're in the off-season just about, so there'll be no issues taking it offline. And that's really it on that.
Millions of gallons for this water test?
That we pump out of the ground. So you have to do what's called a prolonged pump test. I want to say it's a 7-day pump test at X amount of gallons, 500 gallons per minute for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And then you have monitoring wells adjacent to the production well. So you're evaluating, one, the cone of depression that is created in the groundwater table, as well as to see if continued pumping would have an impact on any of the adjacent water bodies. So,
Where's this located? East Harwich?
North Harwich, well 10.
Where?
Well 10?
Oh, yeah, oh, okay, yeah, I
Yeah.
know what you mean.
So they want to make sure that I think it's Robbins Pond that's right next to it, Herring
Yeah.
River, those water bodies aren't impacted by the continued pumping. And then it's water quality analysis that's taken throughout that whole process. And that's when we'll start to understand better if and what treatment may be required for this additional source coming online. So we're moving forward.
All right.
So, will we take any of the 1936-38 wells offline?
Now,
Okay.
They stay with the sign.
yeah.
So my uncle, he had a hand in it.
See, that's why we're not touching them.
This will, we just contacted by DEP to renew our Water Management Act permit. We're gonna have to, in a year or two again, file for a permit amendment, to bring this well into our permit, rather. But, I think we're in good shape, so.
It's one of the biggest concerns I have about Cape Cod. And I look just at what this town alone pulls out of the ground. And I think of it in terms of the lens, more than one lens, and there's 5 towns drawn from the same class. How long can we go on?
Yeah. And I think another component that I have in the back of my head is with effluent recharge. You know, right now,
Yeah,
everything that goes through the house goes right outside into the
yeah,
Title V septic system, back into the groundwater. And if we're talking about taking millions, hundreds of millions of gallons, conveying it to a wastewater treatment plant and discharging it downstream, you know, what implications is that gonna have?
all of
On
a
the
sudden,
recharge.
all of a sudden a major headache.
Right. So, those are the cons of, you know, ocean outfall pipe or, you know, something to that effect. You know?
Yeah, it's a big headache in the future.
Yeah.
Superintendent's report?
All right, just a couple items. Was able to fill the electrician's position. The new team member, Paul Hinckley, should be starting October 2nd. Station 7, we had received a new generator from the insurance claim from the storm last winter. Absent Scott, we didn't have anyone to wire it, but I was able to get an electrician in. They were out yesterday and today. They should be just about done wiring it up. The only thing left will be to have the utility company come out to pull the pole fuses so they can make the final terminations without it being live 480 volt wires. So the company that we typically use to pull the pole fuses is actually, it's a small family outfit, and they're all going, I think, to Kentucky hunting or something for the next week, so we'll be pushed out a week until they get back to get that wrapped up. But
Good hunting to
yeah,
them.
it's been a year, another week isn't gonna kill us. And then lastly, just, I don't know if I've mentioned it previously, but the water department has been working with Town Hall to begin migrating our phone system over to the same as the rest of Town Hall. So with that also goes our Microsoft 365 environment that we operate here is going to be merged with the Town of Harwich Microsoft 365 account. Our email addresses and everything at harwichwater.com will still work. So if anyone sends emails to those, we'll still be able to receive it, but we will be getting harwich-ma.gov email addresses. And our phone system is going to be switching from the voice over IP that we have to the Microsoft Teams phone system. So we are going to be porting over at some point. We haven't picked a port date yet, have we?
Yes, we have. So I believe we're going live October 2nd. It's a Tuesday.
What's happening on October 2nd?
Will there be any direct lines to you folks, or will we have to go through Town Hall for everything?
There'll still be our, if you dial 4320304, you'll still get the water department.
Okay,
And we will still all have direct numbers. I don't know.
okay.
Direct numbers, the same
Yeah.
ones, and also our same extensions. But I don't think
No, not
extensions work.
extensions.
No, extensions don't work with this
Okay.
system.
And did you say you're getting new emails?
Yes. Everything is, so we historically, and I would say probably still today, have been way ahead of Town Hall with respect to IT infrastructure. So we've been on Microsoft 365 for years. They're finally catching up. But our, account is harwichwater.com.
Right.
Their government is the Harwich-MA. So we'll be getting assigned those Harwich MA email addresses.
Okay.
But the old ones will still work.
Okay, because I know, we haven't done it much, but I know the old water commissioners have their own emails, so I imagine they'll get new ones as well?
So your commissioner emails were set up through Gmail.
Right,
So those are separate and distinct from the Microsoft environment that the town has.
okay.
So you could keep those as is, or we could probably get aliases created on the town account. But
Just so you'll know, John and I never got those anyway, but I mean, I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm not asking for anything, I'm just
Yeah.
saying we're on different.
Let's just,
I've never done anything with it.
That's what I mean, I probably wouldn't, that's why I'm
Yeah.
not asking for anything, yeah.
but,
It's important, send it here.
yeah.
Smoke signals.
Unless I miss anything, I think that's,
All right, Commissioners report. Mr. Thompson, you got anything?
No, cool.
Ms. Donahue, you got anything?
One little question, I saw, not sure where I saw it, but, it was mentioned the flushing schedule
Oh, yeah.
coming up for this
We're
year.
flushing.
Huh?
sorry, it's probably, yeah, let's not forget that.
I saw the
Well,
signs, so.
Yes.
it mentioned it was gonna be mostly in South Harwich, was it, and,
East Harwich.
okay,
Reason being, what's that?
East Harwich?
Yeah.
East
Reason,
Harwich to West Harwich. That's what,
are they getting to West?
Yep.
I know Steve had talked about, he and I had talked about starting in East Harwich. Reason being, we're gonna be digging up the roads, we're gonna be vibrating.
Right,
You know,
right.
so we figured get a good flush through before we start digging and disrupting things, but.
reason I ask is because, I don't know if it was one neighbor of mine or a couple of neighbors of mine inquired because of the bridge work on Azalea, and they felt that there was some discoloration in the water. I personally have had none, you know, as I say, I'm a little biased, you know, but my water is fabulous, you know, and I'm in that same area, but doesn't mean that somebody else's couldn't, but either they repeated it wrong, but they said that they were told by, can't remember who it was, but a water department staff, that we would probably have flushing in the fall, and that would help any concerns that they might have because of the bridge work, so.
I stand corrected, it's East Harwich to South Harwich.
That's what I
Not
thought.
west, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
They're gonna be in East Harwich for 3 of the phases, and then they come over to South Harwich.
Yeah. And then I think down 28 usually in the spring for the summer. So what I can say about Headwaters is that it is a difficult neighborhood to flush.
Right.
Because there's very limited areas where you can discharge the water without flooding.
Or all dead ends,
All dead ends.
yeah.
I can talk to Steve and see if that can be mixed in.
You know what I may do is, let me forward you the neighborhood email, because I'm not requesting flushing, I don't have a concern about flushing, I only have a concern if neighbors were expecting something and then, you know, it didn't happen. So, you know, that might have been, with all the technical words, you
Yeah.
know, it could have been miscommunication, but I will send you,
We are going to have
Yeah,
to
and-
flush
yeah.
there in the near future, once they tie all the new main in through the bridge. We're gonna have to chlorinate, pressure test, and flush that whole line.
what do you mean by near future?
Once they're done. I don't know when they're gonna be done with the water main work to a point where we can test it.
Right.
I know they were laying some of the water main a couple weeks ago.
You know, I'm only asking because a water department employee told, you know, a lady something, so I'm just gonna send you the email so that come November, she won't say, well, gee,
That you could,
you know,
yeah.
I was told, you know, such and such, so I will send you that email.
Perfect.
All right.
Thank you.
Nothing. Next meeting.
Monday.
Yeah. So the Monday meeting
Have
is
we-
at 5.
Have we posted that?
I'll post that today.
So Monday, so after that, though, what are we looking at?
We want 4 weeks, 3
The
weeks,
5th, October 5th?
that's 2 weeks.
We do 2 weeks, 2 weeks.
I guess we do. See, I miss you so much in between the 2 weeks, it feels like 4 weeks.
We've talked more in the last week,
I know, Gary, you're right.
I'll tell you. October 5th?
It's Columbus Day.
October 5th?
Columbus
Yeah.
is the 9th. Yeah, 5th sounds good to me.
We should have some more direction on the budget and everything at that point too.
5th work for you, Alan? October 5th?
Oh, yes, yeah, good. Well, we have a meeting with the Board of Selectmen.
Monday, yep,
At 5.
yeah,
Yeah. All right. Okay, so the 5th, yeah,
yes.
you're good?
Yeah, but starting at 5, you know that, Ellen, right?
You do what?
Starts at 5, not 6.
Yeah, got it down, 5 p.m.
Okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
I'm good. Yeah, water on the 5th.
Yep.
And that's at 11:30?
All right, just need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor? Aye.
All right.
Aye.
And can we sign